The Book of Jubilees, Chapter 13, Commentary. First of all, you'll notice my voice is adjusted. It's changed since the last video, particularly in these narrative videos and including the commentary. Part of that is to fit with the theme of narration. Secondly, probably the primary reason for this adjustment was as a result, as it relates to the state of my health. Wherefore, it is more, it's preferable, it is more, I don't have the word, but it is easier to speak in this fashion compared to how I once spoke. It accommodates my voice, it accommodates my health, therefore it is rather convenient. In the same respect, it also brings a certain prestige with it. I must admit and confess, this manner of speaking was very much influenced by Shakespearean kind of actors and even narrators with perhaps most likely Shakespearean training, in particular David Suchet, who is quite well known. So that's the voice. Secondly, I want to address the content. That's what this commentary is really for, to discuss the contents of the text. I spent a lot of significant amount of energy simply focusing on the pronunciation, the enunciation, and maintaining the consistency in terms of the manner of speaking. Therefore, most of what I read simply went in the eyes and out the brain, didn't really settle on what I was reading. Therefore, I will now scan it with you now in real time, though not live. This is a recording, obviously. So Abram journeyed. Okay, he took Sarai. They went to a shore, and there was a lofty oak, so a very large tree. And they noticed the land was very pleasant, a good land to be living in. And then Adonai says to him, "This land will be given to you." He built the altar and assessed the surroundings, including the fruits, the fruit of the land, and he determined this is a good land, not simply in appearance, but in substance. Vines, figs, pomegranates, oaks, ilexes, terebinths, various trees, including oil trees. I suspect this is olive oil, not tea tree oil. Cedars and cypresses, fine, well sought after trees with wood that is quite valuable and precious, date trees, and amongst other varieties as well, and water from the mountains there. Therefore, we have a spring confirmed, a spring delivering fresh, drinkable water. And then he named it, I should say, he called on the name of Adonai, the eternal Elohim. He offered on the altar that he should be with him. Okay, so that seems to be a, I'm going to say request, a petition to the Lord to remain with him. And then Abram left that location, he came to Hebron, stayed there for 2 years. It's pretty straightforward. And then Abram went into Egypt for 5 years before they were separated. Tanai seems to be a city. Pharaoh seized Sarai by force, it seems, or simply by ignorance. And as a result, Pharaoh's household was plagued due to this action. Therefore, there is a consequence to this wrongful action, though done in ignorance, not against his own integrity, as the Tanakh would render this, as the Tanakh would reveal. Abram was very glorious. I tried to deviate from this accent and my voice broke, so I must remain constant. By reason of possessions in sheep and cattle and asses, we read of all types of animals in his possession, including human being servants and material wealth. Lot also was wealthy. So this rather contradicts the idea that followers of the true God of Israel should not be rich or wealthy. It's simply that is false. That is a false notion. What Scripture says, specifically what Yeshua says, is that Yeshua HaMashiach, is that a rich man has a hard time entering the kingdom of heaven, and it is compared to trying to insert a thick rope into the eye of a needle. Very much impossible. Not to say that it is impossible. It is possible only with the help of Elohim, but man's efforts by themselves would render this painstaking effort, this objective would be rendered largely impossible. With the help of Elohim, however, one would deduce that, yes, it is no longer the same analogy would apply. It would very much be like inserting a thread, a thin thread, into the eye of a needle, because with the help of Adonai, Elohim of Israel, all things are possible. And Pharaoh gave back Sarai and sent him out of the land of Egypt. He journeyed to the place where he had pitched his tent at the beginning. He blessed Adonai, his Elohim. So there's a number of sacrifices being made in this account. And we see the name being used here, the Most High Elohim. We don't see the proper name being used, at least in terms of Abram's understanding. He is called the Eternal Elohim, my Elohim, not by his name, the proper name of Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, or Yod-Heh-Waw-Heh. And then we see how Lot had separated from Abram, and describes how the inhabitants of Sodom, were sinners, and it grieved Abram, rather, that Lot had parted from him. And now he's got this empty nest sensation, this empty nest feeling. Lot was taken captive. And the Lord said to Abram that he will give him the land that he is beholding. as well as a promise of his descendants, physical descendants, being as numerous as the sand of the sea. Man will not be able to take account of them. Arise, walk through the land, in the length of it and the breadth of it. See it all, for thy seed will I give it. This seems to be a promise. And this year, we have the name of one king that goes by Hador Laomer, Amraphel Arioch, Tergo. And it says here, these kings slew the king of Gomorrah. There was a casualty, however, one survivor, which is the king of Sodom. And many fell. This seems to imply their servants, their armies, were killed for the most part. Doesn't seem to indicate any survivors from these battles. They took Lot also, the son of Abram's brother, and all his possessions. They went to Dan. One who had escaped came and told Abram, his brother's son. They informed Abram. Therefore, it seems to be a coincidence that we have a survivor from the camp. However, as we know, those who believe in the words of Elohim, specifically the Septuagint, the apostolic writings, and to a certain extent the book of Jubilees, you would be led to believe that this is not this is not coincidental. This is providential. This is part of the will of Adonai being fulfilled, that there would be one not only to survive from Lot's camp, I should say, from the battle between the kings of Sodom, Gomorrah, and the other kings, but he had informed Abram as well just what had occurred and what is the present status of Lot, which is being held in captivity. He is taken hostage, essentially, for Abram, for his seed, a tenth of the first fruits. Okay, so we can see there are missing sections of this from these verses in the book of Jubilees, and this remains for this is a consistent a consistency that you will find. There are no there's nothing to fill in this gap unless we try to do so ourselves, but it seems to be significant sections are missing to the point that they're not able to discern what should be inserted. And then it refers to the first fruits that should be given to the priests, which I believe are the Levites, essentially, though they did not exist in that time, since they had not come forth from Abram. Isaac is not even born at this juncture. To this law there's no limit of days. We can see how this is a perpetual commandment. So as you can see, this manner of speaking is a lot easier in my voice, whereas if I were to simply change and speak in my normal cadence, this video would be very much interrupted with a lot of there would be a lot of difficulty for me anyhow. He gave it, he being Abram, to his priests to eat and to drink with joy. Oh, no, this is not Abram, this is Adonai. So this is being done as a commandment of Adonai, and this is the blessing in which the priests are blessed through this commandment, which provides them sustenance. We can see the deference the king of Sodom had, and the reverence he had for Abram, who had seem to be victorious. So it seems what was missing between the verses 24 and 25 is Abram's successful rescue of Lot. And we have that detail filled in for us in the book of Genesis, where it does describe how Abram took a chosen select men to go into battle and retrieve Lot and his possessions. Lot's possessions, I should say. And then we can see the consistency between the book of Jubilees and the book of Genesis, where Abram, once again, does not accept anything from the king of Sodom, lest one should say that the king of Sodom is the source of his wealth, save only what the young men have eaten. So he's simply saying, whatever the young men have eaten, it will be covered by me. But anything else above that will not take a chance and invite the opportunity for people to take a guess that, or even to speculate that Abram's riches are due to the king of Sodom. Rather, let it be known it is the Most High God, the Elohim of Abram, that is the source of all his wealth and success. So thank you for listening. This is the commentary on Jubilees chapter 13.